is envy, the seventh daughter of the true order. May all beings be free from tyranny. May all beings fall into depravity.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for coming to StarNet Studios. I appreciate your time. Today, I'm going to be speaking with Miss Dawn Noel. She has been a very busy actress over her career. She has made appearances in many different things. She's been in Law and Order: Criminal Intent. She's been on NCIS Los Angeles. She's appeared in the movie Honey 2, and many other things. She has a very long list of credits, and she's going to tell us about some of it today. So, Miss Dawn, how are you today?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. Thank you very much. Yes. So let me just go ahead. So right now you are in the Los Angeles area, and we'll talk about that some. But it began for you in Philadelphia in school. Is that correct? That's where you first got into acting, and a lot of that was live theater. So can you tell me a little bit about those days?
Sure. Born and raised in Philadelphia. I started out doing modeling and print work as a child and doing lots of commercials and live theater. As you said, I went to the Performing Arts High School. I got my bachelor's degree from the University of the Arts, and then I moved to New York. So I've been in the entertainment business my whole life, whether it was Broadway, dance companies, traveling the world, you name it, hustling, versatile, kids versatility. Yeah.
And one of the things that jumped out at me, you because you've done, like we said, lots of different stage productions. One of them was the Lion King live version. Is that right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Correct. I love the show. It's one of my favorite Broadway shows. I started with the first national tour. We actually came to Houston. So I spent like 3 months in Houston when it first opened, which was definitely over 15 years ago. That was a while ago. So I went on and off with the tour and on and off with Broadway. And sometimes that seemed to work for me. Like if someone had a vacation leave or somebody got pregnant or injured, I would go in for 3 months and then I can go back to my normal life, go back and forth. So I didn't get so sick of the show. It's hard to do 8 shows a week, and keep it fresh. So I kind of liked that plan. I would go back in different people's parts. So I never got bored. So, but yes, the Lion King, I did the first national tour and Broadway.
Yeah. Okay. And you mentioned, so Philadelphia, and then you've traveled the world and you spent time in New York. At what point did you decide, okay, now it's time to head out to the LA area? What triggered that moment?
Sure. I was in New York for 12 years. And I just needed a change of life. I wanted sunshine all the time. I was sick of the snow and just crowded space, and I just wanted more nature. I just was ready for a change. And I knew that eventually I would move here to Los Angeles, not only as an actor, but just having peace of mind and quietness. It's sunny out every day for the most part, being closer to the beach. But then, there was more opportunities, or at least I thought so, acting wise here in Los Angeles. Because as soon as I left New York, then they started Orange is the New Black. They started filming so much more. And I was like, oh my God, I missed out, these are, but everything happens for a reason. And I'm here. Yeah. So it was a little bit of life change and acting career.
Well, like I said, I mean, you just mentioned, yes, there's opportunities back in New York, but you've definitely found some in Los Angeles, as I mentioned. I mean, like Penny Dreadful, City of Angels, for example, and then I said NCIS Los Angeles, but I believe you were on the original one as well, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Both of them.
Both of them. So you made appearances, and I mean, unfortunately, as of this conversation, NCIS New Orleans is going away at the point of this discussion. But and then I know Hawaii is coming up, so I don't know if maybe.
Oh my God, I know. I'm so excited. I'm like, I will fly myself out for free. I just want to be in Hawaii. Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
We'd love to see you in that as well. But besides some of these television productions, you've also done a lot of dancing in some of your works. Like I believe you did it, and I mentioned Honey too. And also you've been in. I know you appeared in Glee. I don't. I'm not sure if that was, just because that's obviously a very musical and dancing oriented show. So that's obviously a good time to you use those types of talents. So did your dancing roots go back to your New York time as well?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Your time in dancing, did your roots in dancing, did that go back to New York, or was it all the way back in Philadelphia?
Back in Philadelphia. Oh, yeah. No, I've been dancing since I was 3. I was a dancer first. I made a wonderful career for myself as a dancer. Then slowly was transitioning into acting and producing. Yeah. So yeah, a bunch of episodes on Glee, Penny Dreadful, The Prom, which is the Ryan Murphy movie that came out last year. Tons of stuff. Those were all like dance jobs for the most part, with some acting, but I'm mostly just focusing on acting at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, and speaking of acting, not only do you have things that you've done in front of the camera, but sometimes you work behind it as well as in front of it. Because I know you are producing some of your own works. I mean, like one that kind of stood out to me was or is going to be coming up, SOS, which you're going to be doing with Mr. Vernon Wells. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Because
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because I do, because he's worked in, he's known as done some villain roles. Like, I mean, some people may recognize him. Some of the younger viewers may know him from like Power Rangers, Time Force, or something like that. And I know he's appeared in Mad Max.
Mad Max. Yeah. So that was a horror film. That was a horror film that should be coming out soon. I think they're still, I mean, you know how production is. They're still editing and still working on that. So hopefully that comes out soon. I've produced 2 award-winning short films that are on video on demand. You can probably just Google them, and they're all over the place to watch them. And I'm also getting ready to direct a short film called Vanilla Ice Cream, which Vernon is a part of. He's one of the actors. So now I'm starting to get into directing, on top of producing and acting. That's why I said versatility is key.
Right. Now, the SOS is Ship of Spirits, and you mentioned that was a horror. So what can we expect from that one?
A fun fact is my dog is in it. I negotiated. I was like, can my dog be in it? And they were like, yeah, well, you're one of the producers, and that would, give us some production value. So I'm super excited that my dog is in it. It's a horror film. It takes place on a ship. This ship was really haunted. Like I was scared to be on it. I was like, I know I'm going to see or hear something. But yes, it's about spirits, and I don't know how they're editing at this point, but yeah, hopefully it'll be scary. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to say too much about it.
Okay. Well, do you want to mention anything about? You mentioned Vanilla Ice Cream. Do you want to give a little taste of what can be expected there at all?
Sure. It takes place in the 80s. And it's kind of a little like, I don't want to say #MeToo, but it's how women were treated at work, at the workplace, especially back then. So I'll leave it at that. I have some really great actors attached to that. I also, right now, I know I'm like all over the place, but there's a feature film, a comedy called White People Money, written, directed, and produced by Mark Harris, who's from Chicago. That is still out in theaters now. I think we're on the 3rd week of selected movie theaters. Okay. And then it's all over video on demand, Amazon Prime, iTunes, that you can rent it or buy it. It's a comedy with Drew Sidora. She's in the Family Business. She was in the TLC movie. She's been around forever. Bart Fitzgerald, he's on The Shy. Aaron Spears, he's on The Bold and the Beautiful. So it has a really great, cast and crew. That's out now if people want to check that out. That's awesome. It's been doing really well. It's a comedy. Yeah.
Okay, and did you said that was going? That's available Amazon Prime. Is that one of the platforms that you
Yeah,
mentioned there?
yeah. If anybody follows me, if anyone's listening, if you follow me on social media, you'll see I've posted on Facebook and my Instagram page all the different streaming platforms that people can watch it, rent it, buy it now. And
Okay.
it's still in selected theaters across the country, internationally, actually. Yeah. So it's doing pretty well, especially coming out of a pandemic.
Right, right. Now, what
Yeah.
kind of challenges, speaking of which, especially whether it be in front of or behind the camera, how have you overcome some of those challenges as far as shooting or putting together some of your work since the pandemic has been going?
Since the pandemic, what has been challenging? Whew. Well, I think as an actor, there's pros and cons to putting yourself, doing self tapes. It can be so annoying. And like, there's the pros are you're going to get more auditions, but now you're doing like 5 auditions a day. You don't have to drive to the audition. You can do it as many times as you want. But now there's more people submitting all over the city, all over the country, that there's more for the casting directors to look through. So that has been a little challenging for me, because you have to learn how to shoot it, light it, edit it, upload it. Like we've become, even though we are, most of us, a lot of us are filmmakers, we're expected to do like literally shoot the commercial for your audition. And it's
Right.
like, oh my gosh, I have to actually go in my car, put the camera here. So that's been a slightly challenging. Like I said, there's pros and cons to that. And as a filmmaker, I think there's a lot of challenging moments just finding money, especially during a pandemic. Finding money for projects and stuff like that. It's really hard. So I'm going after grants and stuff like that if I can. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're glad to see that you've been able to accomplish the things that you have, and now that the pandemic is, we're at a better place than we were in previous months and weeks. So look forward to seeing what you have going on next, especially like what we
Yeah.
mentioned, the SOS and the
Mhm.
and the vanilla ice cream,
Mhm.
and look forward to seeing what you have next. So, as far as anyone who wants to see a little bit more of your work, and yes, they can go onto the on-demand platforms as you mentioned. They can also visit you on social media, and that is at Dawn Noel Actor would be be the best way to find you on social media. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. So Instagram, it's Dawn Noel Actor. Facebook, there's Dawn Noel Actor. You can see all my footage, my reels on YouTube, IMDb. Yeah, I'm all over the usual ones, LinkedIn and stuff like that. Yeah, just type in my name. I'm sure you can find it. DAWNNOEL.
Sounds great. Okay. Well, thank you for being on. Very much appreciate your time. It's been great, and just good luck with your future projects, and look forward to seeing what you have going on next.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me.